Hello, you little cat engineer. In recent years, we've seen a rising sentiment that sequels, spin-offs, adaptations, reboots, and whatever else are original and overtly safe, lazy projects. Source? I don't know if I can cite the entirety of the general public. The rise of this Marvel Cinematic Universe generated a stream of movies that were guaranteed to be hits in the box office, and it essentially caused a cinematic universe rush, where different studios tried their hands at making their own interconnected movie franchises. You know, from one movie to another, and then there's something connecting those two. In some cases, I mean connecting films like TV shows crossing over, and creating a large event in the vein of the Ultraman and Kamen Rider crossover special. Look at films such as Godzilla vs. Kong, where each got a film to be the protagonist in before they clashed, or in other cases to have long ongoing storylines which would carry on from one film to another, and also have some one-off episodic movies. This being the original format that the MCU took and the DCEU took afterwards. Cut to now, and the discussion has moved on from multiverse fatigue and has focused on the amount of unoriginality seen in Hollywood, be it the remakes of classic Disney films such as The Lion King, Dumbo, The Little Mermaid, movies based on previous hit films such as Wonka, Jurassic World, Men in Black, the new Ghostbusters, and recently a new breed has been arising, which is complaints towards movies based off of already existing IPs. You know, I've seen complaints thrown towards films being made about already existing properties, but I think it's very two-faced to say that any film made off of an already existing brand is a sham. That's why the Mario movie, Barbie, and Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, are all bad as they're not original. Well, meanwhile, the motherfucking Shining, one of the most well-known and highly regarded horror/thriller movies to ever be filmed, a movie that has received endless praise, is well-known by everyone, and has been indoctrinated into pop culture. It's based on a book which is already well-known and is spoken of as a masterpiece in gothic horror to this day. Hell, the book did so well back in the day that it was what established Stephen King as a prominent horror writer. So it wasn't even a case of a niche. It wasn't a case of a niche book adaptation that's had no staying power in the marketing or in the name. It was a big book being adapted. And since we're speaking of Stephen King, he inspired another movie which you might or might not have heard of, The Shawshank Redemption. While it was a flop at the time, it's now seen as a masterpiece. Just because a movie is based off of something else doesn't mean it can't exceed at what it's doing within its own medium. Adaptation still requires a vision within the new medium in order to be good. There can be such a thing as a straight conversion without compromise having to be made, which is why it takes someone who's good at their craft to be able to bring an idea from one to another. It's not as simple as just Think famous, movie. When it comes to pre-established intellectual properties, it being an intellectual property is never the make or break of the movie, but instead what matters is how the director and screenplay writers use the intellectual property in relation to their vision of the film. That's what makes movies such as the Lego Movie so great. It had its own themes/ideas, which are then aided by the product it's marketing, as the film would not work under most other settings, with the ideas of master builders, the piece of resistance, the craggle, a bunch of jokes, the visual presentation, and many other things all only make sense when thinking of them as Lego. A bad adaptation by this token isn't just something that goes against the original vision of the product, but also something that's of poor quality. In the worst of cases, these two mix and create something that is so far removed from the original that already existing fans will hate it, and general audience who don't think of the original property? No, of course they don't think of it. They have better things to do. I'm here playing Dig Dug. They're over there watching good cinema. Dig Dug movie, coming soon. And general audiences who don't know the original property will hate it because it is simply a bad movie with references to something they don't get. With all this talk of originality, it kind of got me thinking on a topic that I'm very fond of, and I figured it'd be interesting to talk about. Taking a movie and slapping a big old number 2 onto it. Sequels. Hit it!
sequel!